Hi, welcome to the Twinsburg Mayor's Report. I'm Mary Kidd, and I'm here with Mayor Ted Yates.
Hi.
Hi, thanks for coming over. Let's start out with, seems to be many people having problems with waste management. So what's the deal?
Yeah, I think, we look at waste management as a huge contract that we have in the city. So we've calculated, and we do have a lot of interaction with them, so it really is a good partnership with waste management. But they do about 30,000 stops per month. So the amount and the volume that they do, we have a couple areas that have seemed to be problematic, and I know this year has been a lot with new drivers and staffing issues and just different things that have happened, and we had a meeting recently to try to iron out some of those issues. But we typically get, say, 5 to 7 calls per Tuesday, and out of 5 to 10,000 stops, that's a pretty good ratio. But I know for the residents, it's something that's a valued service, and we want to try to make sure we're always on top of it. So we are working with waste management. I think part of it is some things that they could do on their part, but a lot of it is educating the residents on what they can and can't put out, and timing of putting stuff out and those kind of things. Because there's a lot of times where, when we had a holiday that fell on a Monday, sometimes they bump a Tuesday pickup to Wednesday, and we put out 14 signs that said, we're picking it up on the day that we're supposed to pick it up, and we got yelled at for picking it up on the day that we're supposed to be picking it up instead of the day after, So there's a lot of things that go on that come into play, and I know we had a cul-de-sac that didn't get picked up in one of our wards, and we had a lot of upset residents. But then when we talked to Waste Management was like, well, we had tree service that was blocking the whole cul-de-sac. We couldn't get in. We came back at the end of the day. We couldn't get in. And then it was a miscommunication, because typically they would come back the next day. But there's never ever any missed trash. It's just, it could be delayed. So if Waste Management can't come back to get it, contact us if you get missed. And if they can't come back and get it timely, then we'll take care of it with our service department and make sure everyone gets picked up. So it is something that we're always working on and in communication with Waste Management. And but it's one of those things that it's a huge contract, and there's a lot of moving parts on every Tuesday. So, and this happens to be today, so I'll have messages when I get back probably.
Well, how does it work in Twinsburg? Does each resident get a bill for trash pickup, or does the city take care of that?
No, the city takes care of everything. So there are no charges to the city residents for any of the trash pickup, which is unlike most of the neighborhoods around here in communities. When a lot of this was happening, I was talking to a resident of Stowe, and I was like, well, when does your trash come? What day does it come on? They're like, well, it could come every day depending on who they contract with, because they're supposed to contract. So there could be garbage trucks in neighborhoods every day of the week, and that's one of the things that makes it really challenging when we look at other providers or anything, is to find one that would dedicate. We only have one day a week that trash comes through Twinsburg, and they do the whole community, which is rare. I know when we've tried to bid it in the past, different providers wanted to bid it, proposing different days for different parts of the city, and so it's a challenge. But right now, it's free to the residents, and it's only one day a week.
Okay. Tell me about your new council member.
Yeah, so Karen Levy, she's just going to be a great addition to council. She's been really active in the community with youth sports and just different things that she's been involved in. So I think everyone's excited. We're going to miss Joanne, but I think Karen's going to be a great addition to council. So I know she's excited for the role. I know she's gearing up because she's got to run now, so it's a short appointment, but she's going to be gearing up to campaign this summer, and so yeah, so it'll be fun having her on.
Okay, and you have some police department news.
Yeah, so Chief Noga has officially turned in his retirement notice. It's a sad day, but he's just been he's been chief for 15 years, been part of the department a lot longer than that, and has really helped guide our Twinsburg Police Department into the force and the respected force that they are today in this area. So I know we're going to start looking for his replacement, and we have some great internal candidates that we're going to be interviewing. So we'll probably be announcing something before the end of the month as it relates to that. And I think Chief's around September 4th or so is his last day. But no, he's excited and nervous at the same time. but he's had a really great opportunity here in Twinsburg, and he's done a lot to really help the city.
Yeah, well, good luck to the chief. And is it you and council that choose and hire the new chief?
So it's my decision. So it comes
okay.
to so my department heads. The only department heads that council I appoint and then a council approves is the law director and the finance director. Okay. So everything else falls underneath my department heads. So.
Okay, a big responsibility.
Big, yeah, it's a we've had some big hires here in the last few years between Sarah at finance and Michael at HR, and we've had a lot of moving parts going on. So, but yeah, I know it's exciting for the chief, and I know it'll start this new stage in the life of our police department. So.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I read about people want redevelopment in your southern downtown. So exactly where are we talking about?
So when we look at the southeast quadrant, so you're talking about from Chase Bank that runs back to the ball field in Tinkers Creek and then all the way to the post office. So that main quadrant I've been focused on for about 10 years now. We started the CIC, and it's been really engaged in looking at and trying to get development opportunities in that area. So we have now, we did a request for proposals back really in the beginning of COVID and got no response. We resent it back out, and we had a few responses, and we've narrowed it down, and we've picked heritage development, which ties to the Wolstein family, who has tremendous history in Twinsburg. So I think this is a great legacy project potentially for them as we move forward. So we're kind of going through all those. It's a slow process. We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. So we're kind of working with them. We had a meeting last week talking about what our next steps are going to be. We want to get some community engagement going on. We need to get the development agreement signed. But yeah, so we're looking at probably about a 50-50 split in residential and commercial in that particular area. So we'll have, they've got a great builder, a memorandum of understanding with a builder right now that's going to provide some really beautiful units for residential in there, and then we'll start trying to piece together what the new face of commercial is going to look like as we've kind of worked through COVID here. But when we look around the country, retail and commercial sites are really starting to grow again. Everyone thought it was going to kind of go the other way, but what they're seeing in Florida and some of the other areas are, it's exciting to think about, potential to have some retail in our downtown area, because we're really lacking any sense of place in our central area in Twinsburg.
Okay, so could we actually be talking about the type of where there's shops down here and apartments up above?
Yeah, we're talking about really. So the zoning is C5, so it's mixed use. Okay. So there's no density limitations. The only real limitation would be apartments, and right now there's no real apartments being proposed. These would be owner-occupied townhomes.
Oh, okay.
And then you would have kind of hopefully a Main Street area that could have shops with some residential up above it.
Wow.
Or some freestanding commercial. So yeah, we're excited to try to kind of start laying it all out and see what it's going to look like.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's something that has been, if you ask me what's been one of the #1 things that I've been focused on, and that's been it. So hopefully we'll see it happen here in the next year or so.
Okay. How often does Summit County spray for mosquitoes in Twinsburg?
Yeah, so they set a schedule throughout the summer. I know that kind of came up to our residents, and we were able to pull some of the county schedule and get it out to the residents. But on the county website, there's a schedule. So it depends on, I guess, what they're seeing in each of the communities, as well as what their schedule is to get around Summit County. But they make their passes through Twinsburg, and we try to watch it, and we get the information out to the residents when they'll be coming through. But I know this is kind of the heat of mosquito season right now.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they do send trucks through and spray through all our neighborhoods.
Now, I'm sure their technology has changed since I was a kid, but I mean, should you be grabbing your pets and running inside and closing your windows? Yeah,
I probably would go inside and not stand out there. I mean, in today's world, I try to avoid everything chemical based. So it's, I wouldn't stand out there and wave to them, and with my dog in the front yard. But yeah, I would probably avoid that.
So just go to their website to find out
and I
when
know
it's
they do a
gonna
lot of
happen.
times late at night when things are quieter too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Now, how do you handle like nuisance wildlife? If I got raccoons that just won't leave my trash alone?
Yeah, so we used to have our own dog warden that was a city employee, and then when he retired, and you know, we basically now use an outside service. So depending on the situation, you can contact City Hall, contact our service department, and if we can help, we will. If not, we can refer you to the service that we use. But yeah, any type of road cleanup and stuff, we typically take care of ourselves. But any trappers or any of that kind of stuff, we send out to an outside company now.
Critter control.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, and what should residents do if they lose a pet?
So, you know, the biggest thing that we've seen recently is social media. I mean, put pictures of the pets out on social media. You know, we've got Facebook pages that can get information out really quickly to most of the residents, and you'd be surprised. I mean, it's pretty quick that, you know, dogs and cat are found and, you know, or have been discovered. And, you know, a lot of people will find the pet before the owner announces it's missing and put it out there, and then the owner becomes aware. And but yeah, that's typically how we've gotten it out. And even if we find a pet, like our police picks one up or someone drops it off at City Hall, we'll use social media and to get the information out there to make sure we can find the owner.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Tell me about the Twinsburg Environmental Commission.
So it's been around a while. You know, Daisy Walker was a really big influence on that. She's now on council, still plays a role in it. But they look at different projects around the city that they can do, and they host events. Typically, they're the ones that help orchestrate Earth Day for us, and then they'll do other events. So they help plan and organize our e-waste recycling, our shredding days. We try to do it every few years. The hazardous waste disposal, but yeah, they're constantly involved and engaged with also the school system, and we have high school students that are part of the Environmental Commission, just looking at ways to be more environmentally friendly in town. And it's kind of a little bit of a pivot, but we're doing our comprehensive plan review right now for the city. We do that every 5 years. And this year has been really based on sustainability and different things that the city can do to reduce our carbon footprint as we move forward in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So the Environmental Commission, I know, has contributed to that also, but that's been really a push of some of the residents. It was kind of funny how we've had this committee going on, and we've really been focused on this, and I get this letter signed by like 25 residents about, hey, reducing our carbon footprint. So I was able to take everything we're working on and scan it in and go, here's what we're doing, trying to do. So it's good that our residents are also focused on that also. I mean, it's something that we've been trying to do. We get no-pit grants every year, and we do energy-based projects. We've installed charging stations for our electric cars. We've refitted all of our lights in all of our buildings with LEDs. So we're trying to do things that makes the city greener. But it's kind of a long process. But this comprehensive plan hopefully will help us set the stage of here's where we'd like to go in the future with our city buildings and operations.
All right, well, along those same lines then, are there any plans to get a new naturalist?
So we have not looked at rehiring the naturalist. That's something that as we reduce staffing during COVID, we've really, we started to hire some people back, but we're still probably 10 to 12 bodies lower than what we were pre-COVID. And so I think there's other departments that have really been squeezed on staffing that we'd probably bring back first before the naturalist. It was great having Stan in town. I know he did a lot with the school district, and I know at the time when he retired, I was in discussions with the school district about maybe trying to keep him part-time at the city and part-time at the school district, because of a lot of his time was spent more with kids, educating kids, than it was doing city functions. So, but yeah, we were one of the few that really had that role. And it's something we may look at in the future, but I think right now we're more focused on our core positions for our basic services.
All right. Well, now that the senior citizens are, out and about again, we should remind people about your van service.
Yeah, we've got transportation for those that qualify for that, and we'll help them. We went through a period of time where we were doing medical visits only. We were able to bring back our full-time van driver who was laid off during COVID. So now we're back to where we're able to do our, our drugstore runs and our grocery store runs and those kind of things. But yeah, they just had their senior picnic last week, and there was, I know, about 150 seniors, and they had a great time. I had a Mayor's Association event, so I couldn't go to it, but I saw a bunch of the photos and everything. So it's a really fun. I love our seniors. They're just they're great to be around, and I know they're so excited to be back having events and being together again, because it's isolating for us, but we still were able to work and have all these different types of physical engagement. But for our seniors, got really isolated during COVID, so I'm so glad they're back able to see each other again and be together.
Sure. I didn't attend that gathering, but I attended a different one in Twinsburg. The Twinsburg Community Theater celebrated their 25th anniversary. And boy, there was a lot of hugging at that.
Yeah.
I know they were happy to be together again.
Yeah, I think everyone's glad to be shaking hands and hugging again. So yeah, the community theater is just such a, part of Twinsburg that many communities don't have, and it's got such strong history. And I know a few years ago in my stay of the city, I kind of showcased all of their plays that they had done over the years and had them all up on a screen, and it's just amazing. And if you've been to any of the plays, I mean, they're so professionally done, and no, it really is a true benefit for our community.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Circle K had their big grand opening.
Yeah, I was able to attend that. That was a great, just a great change in that whole area. We had a BP station that we were constantly looking at that particular site, and I know Circle K came in and did a bunch of renovations, and one of the things that they really did was they connected the access between Circle K and Burger King, which now provides a much better, a safer route to get out of there using the light. So that was a great benefit. But they redid the whole inside. I was able to tour it and meet all their management, but I think they're going to be just a great addition to Twinsburg. But yeah, it was good to see that some money invested in that particular station.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's end with sorry kids, school's starting this month.
Yeah.
So driving reminders.
Yeah, I think the school does a pretty good job of getting information out. I know some of the bus schedules have changed in terms of which schools are starting at certain times. They've changed that around a little bit this year, but just be patient and understand that if you're heading down McTarrian or anywhere near Ravenna Road, between probably 7 o'clock, 10 to 7 to 7:40, you're going to experience traffic because those are the parents taking kids to school and getting out of there. But no, it's exciting time, and hopefully we don't see too much surging in this next round of COVID cases, and the kids can go back to school normal and have a year that especially for some of the high school kids, because the last couple of years they've really missed out on a lot of special time. So, but hopefully this will be more normal for them.
Right. Oh, and remember, it's never okay to pass a school bus.
Never.
Never.
Never. No.
And hefty fines, and I mean, I think it should be a felony. I mean, it's bad.
I know there's a lot of push out there to change some of the laws regarding the violations for passing school bus. Yeah, it really is. I mean, I think our community does a pretty good job. I think you'll see every once in a while someone post about someone doing something stupid, but I think our community's pretty much on top of that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining me, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next month.
With school in session, it's important to review with everyone the laws in Ohio regarding stopping for school buses. Many people get confused as to when they should or shouldn't stop for a school bus and it's important that everyone knows the law for the safety of all our children. Remember, if a road is 3 lanes or less, like Ravenna Road, Gettysburg Drive, Oxford Street, or Regatta Trail, then all traffic must stop from either direction when a bus stops to pick up or drop off any school children. If a road has 4 lanes or more, like State Route 82 or State Route 91, then the driver of the vehicle only has to stop if they are going in the same direction as the bus. For example, if you and the bus are both traveling in the same direction on State Route 82, then you have to stop. If you are traveling in the opposite direction, you don't have to stop. In the case of a railroad crossing, when the bus stops at the crossing, you must also stop if you are traveling in the same direction as the bus. Traffic going in the opposite direction does not have to stop for the bus at the railroad crossing. Illegally passing a school bus is a very serious offense. A court appearance is mandatory, and you will be fined up to $500, and your license could even be suspended. Please remember these rules of the road to keep all our school kids safe this year.